And we are live. Big up to everyone that's here this morning, or if it's the afternoon or evening, wherever you may be around the world. Big up to everyone. Welcome back to 12th Man. We've got an Arsenal show today. We're going to be talking a lot about Max Dowman. We're going to talk about tonight's game, and we're also going to talk about the weekend, the cup final, Wembley, which I think all four of us will be there at. And I hope that you guys have got your tickets as well. And you were lucky in the ballot system. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Make sure that you are following everybody on the platform, and make sure you're following OK Jersey. 12 Man is the code you need. 8% discount for any shirt that you like, and any club that you support, or any nation that you support. The World Cup shirts are out as well. We got Chris with us, we got Kenny with us, and we've got Russ with us today as usual. It's a usual Tuesday morning show. And I have to start with one man and one man only, and that is Max Dowman. Chris, is that one of the best endings we've seen in a long time? It felt special to me. 16-year-old lad who, for me, looks like he can be anything that he wants to be. What have you made of the talk of Max Dowman since that goal at the weekend, bruv?
Well, obviously, I enjoyed the goal. It was a wonderful moment. I was thinking, so is it the best Emirates moment ever? And I was thinking, Arsenal against Barcelona, Welbeck against Leicester, and Nketiah, Man United, Nelson, Bournemouth. I think it is, but that's just my personal point of view. And in the aftermath, I've seen some right crap. He's got to go to the World Cup. Do me a favour. I don't want him anywhere. I don't want him anywhere near England. I just want him to grow naturally. He's still a 16-year-old boy. He's got to do his exams, but he is a generational talent, and I think the Arsenal handled him the right way. Please God, no injuries, and we could have a very enjoyable 5 years watching him.
Facts. And look, you make a good point about the endings at the Emirates. I think the one that I'd say wasn't an ending that I'd add to that is Thierry Henry when he came back and scored against Leeds. That for me was unbelievable. And to be fair, when he was at Arsenal, the last minute goal against Man United the first year of the Emirates was unbelievable as well. But you're probably right. That's right up there, to be honest with you. And Russ, I mean, we were there after the game. We both literally give each other a big hug. Couldn't believe what we'd seen. Do you think that it's now time that everyone speaks about Max Dowman, or do you get worried that it might not protect him like perhaps we have to?
Well, we've all known for a long time, haven't we, that watching him coming through the reserves and that we've got special talent, and it's not just one-eyed gooners saying it. It's people like Rio Ferdinand, who watches a lot of football, youth football. He was saying 2 or 3 years ago when he see him go, this bloke's got something. He's got the X factor, and I was privileged to be very, very close to where he did the header and then the little trick. I was very, very pitch side almost to where he did. Man, that was just unbelievable. If that was Messi doing that, no one would be surprised, would they? It was. And talking about the going back to the point about it being a great moment in the context of the way the game was going, they were putting it on us in the last few minutes. It was a mixture of joy, relief, and just an outpouring of love for that kid on the park, doing what we all dream of doing. Coming on and scoring your first goal for your boyhood club in a really important game, a decisive goal that kills the game stone dead. There's no equaliser coming. There's no last minute mess ups, and it was just as a word for it called cathartic. I think it is. It was a cathartic moment. It was just, and the lid literally came off of that stadium. I think it was one of the best moments I've been in that stadium. There's been a few nice ones, but I think that one, because of the context of it and the way he handles himself and everything, it's just a breath of fresh air. He's just a lovely kid, isn't he? And I really pray that his progression just keeps on ticking along nicely, and we look after him, which I think we will. And and in the context of it, I mean, I've never stayed behind the game so long after. I stood there like in almost like a trance, thinking, what's just happened here? and I was shaking people's hands and hugging them, and not because we think we've won the league or anything. I still don't think it's done until it's done. But it was just a joyous, almost like a religious experience, weren't it? It was just mad, mad moments.
It was incredible, Kenny, and obviously you were there as well. And I think the kid come on and changed the game. How good can this kid be, do you think, bruv?
Well, I think what's happened is this season, the manager has to use him as he's using him. He has to be coming in short bursts because a lot of people are saying start him, and I think you kill what you expect from him because you can't make exceptions for him if you start him. He has to do what everyone else does off the ball. In terms of the first press, he's got to make sure he marks his area. And then, because when you ask him to start, you're going to give him so many instructions, like an A4 paper, and then you've got Jova in his ear, and then you've got the other coaches in his ear, Haynes saying his ear. You just want him to just play with abandon, just enjoy his football and just play instinctively. That's what we need from him. We don't need him to start thinking about 10 different things and have eyes in the back of his head. Just go out and play. So how we're playing is just fantastic. I understand the clamour for the World Cup. I understand the clamour to start games, but just relax a bit more because there's so many tough games this season. And, he's definitely going to feature. He may not feature in all of them, but don't kill his development by over playing him. And just let him sing. Let him sing this season. And then over the next few years, when he learns the game, enjoy it whilst you can. When Chris said 5 years, I knew what he meant because I knew that by the time he's in his 20s, he's going to become what a lot of players have become in this country, a system player, like Phil Foden, a system player, Joey Cole, a system player. And when they become system player, they stop singing.
Yeah.
They start, worrying about 10 and 3 different things, which is brilliant because they've made it. But my biggest worry and biggest concern is that the way football is now, it's killing players like Max Dowman. It's killing other players. There's a player at Liverpool who they're all raving about, Rio, on the right hand side. I mean, if you want to go into sort of like the future, back, right in the future, can you imagine as England fans, one on the right and one on the left? That'd be fantastic. But again, it's all about developing Max. But what an impact as well. I didn't leave the stadium until about nearly 45 minutes afterwards because I just wanted to say, what have I just seen? I couldn't even move out my seat. Obviously, I did my Instagram, reel, and that was it. I just sat there, and Andy came up to me, and then me and Andy had a bit of banter. He had tears in his eyes. The woman in front of me, Fiona, she's gone through a lot, and I mean a lot. She was crying. That's how much it got to us, is that the realisation we can actually win this league. The Reece Nelson one was similar because we were 2-0 down against Bournemouth and he scored that half volley and I went, it's one of the things where you can fit you physically feel what you felt. Obviously the bruises when everyone's jumped on top of you and you look at your glasses and think, oh no, I don't even want to go to the oppositions. I don't want to glue them back together. I don't want to get the sellotape and everything. But physically inside, you felt something, and that's why it was a beautiful moment. And Gyökeres as well. Let's not forget him. He started this all, and Max. And let's not forget the players as well because they kept going. They weren't playing well, but they never gave up. So you got to give them a pat on the back.
And it did overshadow. Obviously, it's a wonderful, joyous moment, but it did overshadow yet another example of Stuart Atwell when it comes to Arsenal Football Club.
Mm.
Man City at home 6 years ago when Arteta couldn't attend, he had COVID. Remember that Atwell performance?
That's what.
Atwell at Newcastle away. Remember that performance?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And he's at it again. And last night he could have mucked up Brentford because he totally missed the back pass to the goalkeeper and Walls. Why is this geezer still allowed to officiate Arsenal matches? That was a blatant penalty, Saturday.
You're closer to it than you and Russ were closer to it than us because where we are in sort of like the other side towards northwest.
I couldn't believe it weren't given. He was clean.
You had the angles though. Where we were, we the first one we saw, and I have to be honest, I wasn't calling for a penalty. I just thought, let's get on with this game, because when he got onto his right foot, I thought, right, he's on his wrong side. He's not his strongest side. I saw him go down, and I saw the players just get on and go with it. I didn't see the only person protest was Kai, but you guys saw it. You probably saw the trip. We couldn't see it.
Do you know what?
It wasn't a controversial moment for us.
Do you know what I think it is as well, Kenny? I think our players have now become conditioned to the fact that we ain't going to get these decisions, and they're just going to be professional. And much praise to them all, because a lot of other clubs would have been surrounding the referee and going, absolutely do laddie, because that was the most clearest penalty you've ever seen. And when I thought, well, that's going to go to VAR. It's got to. It's got nothing.
Yeah, that was a surprise. But is that Atwell's decision, or is it because normally the guys in the centre, you know, like I said, the VAI centre, they're the ones who alert the referee.
Yeah,
surely.
Nothing.
Yeah. So, and then it's up to
on Ref Watch. Old the crony. Was it Dermot?
Dermot Gallagher. Yeah.
He was visibly embarrassed. And he said, well, it's a penalty and it's a red card. He said it's denying a goal scoring opportunity. Hackett's gone absolutely mental on Twitter last night, calling them the Chuckle Brothers. Did you see it?
Oh, God, Hackett.
Cool. You see, he goes, it's from the referee doesn't give it to you, to me, to you, to me. He goes, without the life belt of VAR, these referees are incompetent.
Yeah, it's true. But if they become incompetent, though, Russ, because they're worried about. So I'm not defending. I'm just playing devil's advocate. That before VAR, they were making mistakes, but they were actually more forthright and more proactive in what they were doing on the football field. Now they're so scared of making a mistake.
Ken, make the decision. You're the referee. Don't think about a comfort blanket. Don't think about the life belt of VAR. Just make the decision. What you see with your eyes, make the decision. If it proves you're wrong and they review it and they get you to go and have a look, there's no shame in that. We're all human. We can all make
Avert's reputation, though. Avert's reputation for being a bit of a Jurgen Klinsmann. That might have counted against him in that situation.
Everyone in the Premier League is coached. If you feel contact, you go down.
Yeah, of course, definitely. Yeah, Groovy, that one, yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So, in this split second, I can't believe a referee thinks, oh, that's Havertz. He's going down a bit easy there.
Yeah, of course not. But this is one of the things where I have to admit, I'm learning. Albert contacted me on WhatsApp, said that was a penalty. My brother did contact me, which I was a bit surprised about. But in the stadium where we were, if you're in the west terraces, and we're right in a penalty spot, we didn't even go up. We just thought, oh right, the referee is so close to the situation. He clearly doesn't think of the foul. We accepted it, but from your vantage points, you're on the sort of pitch side, Chris. You're near on the side as well. You could see it. We couldn't see it, so. I'd take your word for it.
Do you know what it is as well? Arsenal fans have become resigned to the fact that we're not going to get these. So half the time we don't even scream and shout for one, because we're not going to get one anyway.
It was poor. I couldn't believe it. I thought maybe it had gone to VAR and they've said, I ain't so. Said to my dad, maybe it was a dive. I looked at it again. I couldn't believe what I saw. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. But, you know, this is VAR. But look, bringing it back to Dowman, Chris, I was asked by Sophie on the hybrid squad a few weeks ago, what is Arsenal's secret weapon and who will it be? And I thought it might have been a Kai Havertz when he come back. I did say Mikel Merino, but then he got injured. I think it might be Max Dowman. And I agree with Kenny. I don't want to see him starting. I think the last 20 minutes of a game, though, he can cause absolute chaos and contribute. And I think he could help us towards winning trophies, Chris.
Well, because he's got a wonderful ability. I mean, look at his performance at Mansfield the week before. He's up against no-nonsense defenders who earn a living kicking people. The pitch was amazing. And he just swerved his way through. Yeah, he is going to be a secret weapon. I agree with that. And do you know what was a wonderful moment? It was when those two Everton players tried to stop him. It was so funny. It really was, wasn't it? I don't want to get, you know me, I don't get too carried away, but He is Lionel Messi. No, I don't see it.
Do you think, though, Chris, he'll be better than like what we've seen from the academy, or is it too early to tell? Because we have seen quality players come through, whether it be the likes of Saka or even Myles, Lewis-Skelly and Ethan of late.
Well, the thing is,
some of them have gone on, some of them haven't gone on, you know?
People I know who watch the academy have been telling me about this chap for about 3 or 4 years, and they've all said he's the best thing they've ever seen. And they've seen them all going right back to Rocastle, Thomas, back before that, you know, right back to when Pat Rice, Ray Kennedy, Charlie Jules come through. So when they tell me that, I obviously listen. But the thing is, just to cheer you up, they have got another 2 or 3 coming through.
Yeah.
You know,
Apparently so. Lewis, what's his name? Lewis Morale, is it? Munoz is the one.
Yeah.
Munoz. Yeah, he's the one.
Ibrahim, a young midfield player, looks like Patrick Vieira. But the funny thing is, they've got all this talent coming through. This is the worst season ever in my lifetime for results at that level. They've had some right hammerings this season. So I suppose it does prove the point that it's what comes through. Does the result matter at that level? You know, it's what we have coming through. But Arsenal have always had a fantastic youth system, always brought people through, always. I think that's something we can be proud of, actually.
I think that's one of the reasons why, as fans, we get really attached to these players, because we really want them to do well, and we say they're one of our own. And yeah, you're right, it goes back. But I think the person who deserves a lot of credit, if you want to go back, is like Donnell deserves a lot of credit for that, because everyone talks about, you know, what happened under Arsene, but Donnell, you think about those players that won us the '87 Littlewoods Cup. It was Donnell was the manager then. Donnell and Terry Neal, players like Rocastle and all those players, like Thomas, they all, you know, Quinn, you know, those guys. They're one of the players that, you know, were there when Donnell's come through. So God bless his soul. Thank God we had someone like Donnell, and then we had people like Pat Rice there. Steve Gattins takes a lot of credit as well, because he brought through Iwobi. So it's so nice that Arsenal people are involved in that, in development of these young players, so they learn about this great club of ours.
Yeah.
Look, if we've got another couple coming through, I look forward to it. But right now, Max Dowman's the one I'm talking about, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he does to the end of the season. And I don't know about you, Russ, but are we now going to go into every game waiting for him to come on for the last 20 minutes tonight, maybe at the weekend at the cup final? Is it too much to ask now, or is it like, you know, expected that he comes on?
I think it's inevitable that we'll be looking forward to seeing him, because who doesn't want to see someone who, when he gets the ball, you're not quite sure what's going to happen next. As what's the word? It's not like the normal thing, is it? You're watching. It's not like you basically know how patterns are playing. You basically, unpredictable. That's the word I was looking for. Unpredictable. You can't really tell which way he's going to go. He could go both ways. And he's a physical specimen as well, by the way. It's not till you see him close up how you realise he's a 6-footer already. That's the only concern for me, is he might sprout up and get a bit too tall, and then not have that jink in him, you know, that little trick in him. But hopefully he's reached his ceiling growth wise, and that's the thing with me, is his unpredictability. And when you're unpredictable, when you're a bit of a maverick like that, I don't want to see him chasing 70 yards back to help the fullback out. That's somebody else's job. When you've got a maverick player like that who can just turn a game on a cross, or turn the game with a piece of skill like we saw the other day, I don't want to see him knackered out chasing people back. You've got to have the system. The system's got to be adapted to be played around him, to give him the opportunity. And I think this is why you're going to see him all as a sub. I don't think you're going to see him starting. I think it's going to be when teams are tired, he's going to be coming on, and you're going to reap the benefits of his ability. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah, same. I want to use him for the last 20 minutes of every game if he's fit. I think the guy causes chaos and lifts us and gives us something we want. And Thierry Henry said something really interesting last night, Monday Night Football. He said, I don't know why Premier League wingers now would rather pass it sideways or backwards and take their player on. Max Dowman don't. He's the one player that don't. Now, I think that is because he's raw and he's young and he ain't been coached like some of the others have yet, micromanaged, so to speak. But he don't want to go backwards or sideways. He wants to go forward, and he actually takes risks. And I love players like that. And when it comes off, it looks wonderful. But Kenny, I'm going to say it, and I don't believe this, but I will say it. And for devil's advocate, you'll know where I'm going with this in a minute. Saka ain't performing. Palmer ain't performing. Rodgers has gone downhill. Foden ain't performing. And Bellingham has been poor for Real Madrid. We've seen Rooney and Walcott go to England at 16, 17, 18, Owen as well. I don't want him to, and with Chris, I really don't want him to. But I've seen Thomas Tuchel take Myles, Lewis-Skelly and Nico O'Reilly at the age of 17, 18. Are we going to see Thomas Tuchel taking Max Dowman, or is he just too young for that?
It's not because he's too young. He hasn't played enough games. And that's the thing. It's about enough games. And it's a situation where, despite the fact that the players are having had good seasons, they have got big tournament experience. The players you mentioned, especially the first two players you mentioned, were involved in two campaigns in the European Championships where England got to the final. So they got miles of squad. And the way Saka's playing, he's played his better football this season for the national side as opposed to Arsenal. So Max will feature, but it's a situation. It depends on the manager, but Tuchel will not be picking him yet. He'll be watching and keeping his eye out for him. I think he's extended his contract for 2028, which is where Max, I think Max, will he be 18 in 2028? 18 or 16, 18. So yeah, I think he'll definitely feature, and who knows, be the poster boy of the 28 tournament in the Euros. But for this now campaign, I think it's come too late for Max. If he was playing regularly as Rooney was, remember Rooney was playing regularly in the 2002-2003 season. He was playing regularly. Phil Foden was playing more regular football when he was 18, 19. Max is a situation where Max had an injury, and with the best, you're probably not going to agree with me, guys, but I think the best Max Dowman I've seen was last week against Matchfield, because that was relevant to me. Seeing him against Leeds was not relevant to me. The pre-season was relevant.
He played more centrally, didn't he, Ken?
Yeah. But I learned more about Max and Matchfield, and then when I saw what I saw against Matchfield, and I was ready for him to come on the bench. I wasn't ready for him to come on the bench. Remember, Dan, we've been on shows where I said, no, too young, not ready, blah, blah. Pre-season tells me nothing. The Leeds games tells me nothing. But I was converted after Matchfield, and I think that's where you learn more about players like Max, is on those horrible, bony pitches. So he's definitely, for England, I don't think Tuchel should take him. I think that there's better players at the moment in these, in the squad. The England fan in me is saying that because I can separate England from Arsenal.
Yeah. And
I wouldn't take him myself if I was the coach.
The thing is, the sample size is small, isn't it? For Tuchel to look at Dowman's performances, the sample size is very small. And we've made this mistake with England before, weren't we? I think they took Walcott when he hadn't even hardly played a game.
That was pathetic from Sven Göran Eriksson. That's why, I never liked the coach. That was the straw that broke the camel's back when he took Walcott as a World Cup.
And they're also talking about, Skelly was performing like every week for us, and he got picked for England, scored on his debut for England, and he can't get nowhere. He won't be nowhere near it because his sample size now is too small a game. So I don't think he'll be going. So. That's how fickle it can be, can't it?
I wouldn't assume Saka's guy, but I'll leave it at that.
Saka's
fair point. It's a fair point, Chris.
I think with Saka, it's all about credit at the bank with England. We've seen it over the years with every England manager, especially Southgate, where it's credit in the bank.
I think he needs the summer off, Ken. I'm trying to hint at something. I
know what you're saying.
Yeah, but the thing is that the descendant of Saka's demise in terms of form-wise all started where I was virtually on my knees begging Mick Arteta not to play Saka for those Real Madrid games, because I thought that the domino effect would be this season where he's going to lose a lot of his playing this season and he's going to lose effectiveness. Hindsight's 2020, but I can sleep well at night and say it was absolutely the wrong decision. But you had people who probably haven't got the benefit of all of that experience, and I'm not digging them out. I'm just saying it as it is, that they just thought, well, you're not a doctor. How do you know? I mean, we've seen it many times over the years. It's common sense. Yeah, you don't play players where, like Havertz, everyone thinks that Havertz is going to just run around and think, no, Havertz has had 2 major injuries as well. He's got to be used sparingly. Yeah. You know, there's going to be 2 games, you know, today and Sunday. He can't start both of them. There's
3 issues here, right? There's 3 issues with a player like Saka, with Havertz.
Well, you are. I'm doing something.
3 issues, right? The first issue is people get used to playing you. When you're playing against the same fullbacks and the same defence year after year, they get used to you, and your effectiveness gets lesser and lesser. The second point is the fact that these injuries are career-threatening injuries that they've had. Grade 3 hamstring off the bone, off the muscle. They will impact your performance by.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. I was stunned. I was shocked that he came. I was disgusted and shocked when he was warming up against Fulham. He scored. I felt my whole world cave in, because I thought this is going to happen.
It was the third one, because I always forget the third one when I make points. The third one is the mental side. Now, the mental side of an injury like this is the fact you will be very dubious about pushing yourself that little extra bit, which, you know, in professional sport, that little margin is paramount. You've got to be on your full game. You've got to be pushing yourself to your limit in professional sport. And if you've got this nagging doubt, if I explode here, if I go off too quick, I'm gonna rupture myself again. I'm gonna rip my hamstring again. It's in the back of your mind. It is.
That's why England suits him, because I think the fact that the way he's not good, the way England play is about his possession based, low block, and then the speed, you know, increases when you get into attacking areas. That's going to suit Saka to the point. But there's another player that no one wants to talk about, and I said something very controversial, well-meaning. I thought that, you know, if you want to be elite, then every player's up for grabs, even Raya's position, and everyone's took it the wrong way, like they do, because all the younger people like highlights football. They don't look at the sort of nuances. I could say, well, they had a go at me, so I can go back. But what I'm trying to say is that Saliba, there's a sort of question about whether he could play today in the final. I wouldn't be surprised if he either misses today or the final. If he plays today, he can't make that final. Don't be surprised.
This is a nice segue for my next question. We've got 2 massive games, one tonight, one Sunday, and I don't think, although you might disagree, I don't think he can play the same 11 for both. Yeah. So my question to you as a panel is, what do we do tonight and what do we do on Sunday? Because I think we've got to win both games. Go on, Chris.
I go more full strength Sunday. Sunday's more important to me. I know that might be you can't blow a Champions League game. Sunday's the final. We've got to go there. We've got to win a trophy, shut everyone up. Tonight, I think we can rotate.
So what would you do then, Chris, 11-wise? What would it be roughly for you?
Obviously, I'd have Raya in goal. I'll be playing Ben White.
Yeah.
I might play Myles.
Yeah.
I agree. I play Gyökeres up front, Havertz on the bench. I play Trossard. The sad thing with me, Odegaard's not fit. Because if Odegaard was fit, I wouldn't drop. I'd res Zubimendi and play Odegaard and Rice together.
Well, he's back for the final, they reckon, Odegaard.
Yeah, but I don't. Why should he walk straight in the team?
No, he shouldn't. He shouldn't be anywhere near the squad.
I don't understand that. I know another everyone. I'm a little bit wary about tonight. By the way, I tell you what, you don't want to be going to extra time and penalties.
No,
you know,
absolutely not.
And I've seen lots of European games in Arsenal's history have cost us trophies.
Yeah.
Right. I remember when Bayern Munich knocked us out the last time of the Champions League, and we turned up. That cost us the league title because we lost to Villa on the Saturday. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That was Bayern. Yeah. There's loads of games in Arsenal's history where Europe has cost us. So tonight, what am I trying to say here? I'm not going to be wailing and hauling if it all goes wrong. You know, I'm more interested in Sunday, and I'm more interested in winning this league. End of.
Do you know what? It's a really good point. I got asked a question last night on the show, which said, would you rather win, Dan? Would you rather win tomorrow night, which is tonight, or would you rather win on Sunday? And I said I'd rather win on Sunday because it's a trophy. As much as I want the Champions League, if you could give me a trophy, I'd take it. If you said to me now, would you like to be in the next round of a competition, or do you want to win one? Well, I want to win one. So, because I'm not guaranteed winning this Champions League, but I tell you what, we would be if we win on Sunday. We've got it in our hands. It's there. And we're favourites to win this league. So if we won that cup in this league, that's a brilliant season. I'll be disappointed if we lose in the Champions League. Also, I'll be disappointed if we go out of Leverkusen or Bodo Glimt. That's for sure. But we've got to win this trophy on Sunday. Now, I actually do think that we might actually go fairly strong in both. And there's a comment here, Russ, from James that says there's a break after the final. Everybody plays. Well, there ain't really a break because the internationals ain't a break. Everyone plays again. So what do you think about it, Russ? What are you saying?
I get the concern about, being knackered for the final. We will rotate. I think we'll rotate 3 or 4 tonight, and it will be Saliba, maybe for Mosquera. It will be Ben White playing a big part tonight. Havertz, I agree, shouldn't play. It should be Gyökeres up top, because I think when Havertz has played against City in the past, when he's played up top, he's caused them more problems. His hold-up play is very good, and at big part, that's going to be really important. If they're, I'm not too sure why that game's going to go. Who's going to dominate possession? Because I don't know whether it's going to be an even game or whether one team's going to sit in. I'm not too sure. But Havertz could be crucial if we're sitting in more and letting them have the ball and we're trying to break. He could be crucial to us. How's Trossard doing, by the way? Is he anywhere near?
He's fit tonight.
Well, I would play him tonight and rest Martinelli, put him on as a late sub tonight. Keep that vibe going. Left hand side, yeah, Skelly probably. So Skelly, Mosquera, White, Gyökeres, and then what you're going to play on the right? On the right, rather than Saka, rest Saka till late on, because I think Noni's more progressive with the ball, similar, very unpredictable like Dowman is. And then the rest of it will probably be the same, pick itself. Perhaps Calafiori rested for the final, Nkapé playing tonight for the first part. We've got such a big squad. We're spoilt, really. We're spoilt midfield back, aren't we? It's a forward line where we're all a bit nervous of rinsing players, and because of the workload on them, the way we play. For balance, Bayer Leverkusen, very, very good at home. I mean, they got a draw against Bayern, didn't they? A 1-1 draw in the Bundesliga. They're very difficult to play at, but away from home, they're not so hot. They tend to blow very hot and cold away from home. And as long as we score first, I think it'll be okay. I think it won't be comfortable, but I think we'll be okay if we score first.
What about you, Kenny? Because I'll tell you what I'd go with tonight, quick, Ken, right? I'll tell you what I'd go with. I would put it on screen, but I'll shout it out. Raya, Ben White, as long as he's fit, at right back. I think it'll probably be Saliba and Gabriel again, so I'll keep them at the back for these 2 games and hope they get all right, get through both. I'll play Calafiori at left back for this one. Nkapé come back in for the final. Rice, I'd play Norgard tonight. I think he's been good in the last few. Give Zubimendi a break. I don't know what's happening to him, but he looks nowhere near it. Eze in the 10. I'd start Madueke. I'd bring on Saka, and maybe if he's good, start him in the final. Martinelli, because I don't know how fit Trossard is, and maybe we'll keep Trossard for the final. And I'd start Havertz tonight and then bring on Gyökeres for the last sort of half hour of the game, and maybe the likes of Dowman and co. But what are you saying for the team tonight?
Yeah, I think both teams have to be different. I'm with everyone else. I don't think we haven't got the fitness to win the European Cup. We're not going to do the quadruple. The players are on their knees physically and mentally, and the demands of the Premier League in terms of the intensity required, that's just going to have a domino effect on a negative domino effect on our Champions League. The first leg told me everything I needed to know about where an English side win the Champions League, and it's not going to happen this year. So it's still a big game. It still can go to the wire, and I mean to the wire. Russ doesn't want extra time, but you never know with European football. If I was Leverkusen, low block, time waste, get that forward who terrorised us last week. Just get him on the ball as quickly as I can, because he holds the ball up really well and occupies defenders. But yeah, Raya starts because he might be playing in a League Cup final. I can guarantee you that. That'd be Ali Zabalaya. He's playing in the League Cup final. Raya, right back Benjamin White, 100%, because Timber's not available. Left back, I think it'll be Calafiori. Centre half is it's a big one, because so there's no way Saliba's going to be playing both games. Gabriel with, I'm going to go Mascara at right back. Sorry, at centre half alongside our good friend Gabriel, because I think Saliba will play in the final. And then midfield, you're right. I would play Rice, Norgard, and Eze. I'll leave out Zubimendi because he needs a break. And up top, I think Victor will play. I'm not convinced Victor will start the final. I think Havertz will. And then either side of Havertz, I'm going to go with Victor. It's got to be Madueke. He was very unlucky to be taken off. And on the right hand side, I'll definitely go Martinelli. Will start, and then Trossard to come on. So yeah, that bit of team still a strong side. Still expect them to go through, but like Chris says, all I care about, and I've said it many times, all I care about is the title. That's the only thing I want. Doesn't mean I don't want the other trophies, but I would lose a lot of sleep and a lot of hope if we don't win this title. I think the title is the alpha and the omega, and a bit more than that. We've worked our nuts off for the last 4 years to try and win this thing. It's got to precede everything. I understand the Champions League that we all want the gold star on these shirts. I like a gold star, but right now we put so much into the winning the league that it's got to be priority. Has to be.
I'm with you, and I'll tell you why. This season, before a ball was kicked, I was asked the question with Kenny, which one do you want, Dan? Champions League or Premier League? I said Champions League straight away. If we win the Champions League and we don't win the Premier League, I'll actually be disappointed now. So I'm the other way around now. Now, if you offered me it next season, I'd say the Champions League. But the way that we've got to this stage now, if we don't win this league, I'll be devastated. I really will. The Champions League for me is the one that shuts everyone up, and then everyone can't talk to us. If we win the league, everyone can still talk to us. Where's the European Cup? That's why I've always said win the Champions League. But right now, I want the Premier League. Yes, I get what Kenny's saying. It's your bread and butter. You should want it every year. Get it. I hear it. I'd love to win the league every year. But right now, I have to win it because we're so close. We're like so close. And I think for me, it's going to be a real interesting one tonight to who he picks. And I've just got something in the back of my mind that says that Mikel Arteta will play strong in both these games. Now, there is an argument to say that we can't really play a weak side because Arsenal don't really have a bad side. But I understand what you boys are saying, and I'll come back to you with this, Chris. We all want to win the league. We don't play a league game till the 11th of April. So we've now got to play Bayer Leverkusen in the Champions League, Carabao Cup final, international break, FA Cup, then league. So people can say just play your strongest team 11. So what do we play the reserves for the next 3 games then? Like we're not going to. We're not going to do that. We're going to go strong. So I think now we're going to see. I think we'll win tonight. We'll come on to that next. I don't know what your thoughts are, Chris, but I do think we'll win tonight. And I know you said you wouldn't mind rotation and stuff. I think you will. Maybe a couple of players will rotate, but I think he'll go strong in the next 2. And I'm looking for us to win both. I've got to be honest. I know that sounds spoiled, but that's what I want and that's what I expect, Chris.
But the thing is, though, I suppose the elephant in the room is that international break. I mean, I haven't dared look at the fixtures. I know Brazil are playing Croatia and France, and I hate international breaks. And I tell you what, I'm going to be the last thing we want is picking up injuries like Gabriel got for Brazil earlier in the season. A Southampton game, I see a lot of Arsenal fans assuming we're going to stroll there and win. Now, any Arsenal fan will tell you, Southampton away has always been a bit of a hockey ground for us.
Bogey team, and
they are at the moment the most informed team in that league. Yeah. So I expect him to heavily rotate at Southampton. And the Bournemouth game is massive, but I'm not happy with the kick-off time. 12:30 is one of the worst kick-off times you can have. But let me tell you now why that's important. Because we kick off against Bournemouth at 12:30, we could go 12 points clear, and the following 24 hours later they go to Chelsea.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
massive.
What I'm saying is obviously I want to go. I've been bitten too many times with injuries with this club. You know what I mean? We're coming to a very important stage of the season. So we've got to be careful.
I hear you. Look, the Southampton team is where we will make changes. I think he might play Dowman. I think he'll play Lewis-Skelly. I think he'll play Norgard, Ben White, Kepa, Mosquera. I expect to see everyone in that game, similar to what we did against Mansfield. But I don't expect to see that team in the Champions League, the Carabao Cup final, or against Bournemouth, because I think those three are the more important ones. Now, I'm not saying that we've got bad players or weak players, but obviously when you start messing around and make wholesale changes, the balance goes off, just like it did against Mansfield. I thought we were poor, if I'm honest, because it was all just complete mismatch of players that haven't played together in those positions before. So I don't want to be doing that in the other games, but I don't know about you, Russ, but I kind of am with Chris that I do want to see us win this cup final over if we had to pick one. But I do expect us to win both. I don't know if that's me being a little bit too over the top or arrogant there, Russ, but what do you think?
No, I'll totally agree. I want to see us win both. I think that'll be a massive springboard for us if we win that. Massive kick in the balls for them. And let's not forget, we're all talking about us having to rotate and us being knackered for the final on the weekend. But City have got the same problem because they're in a position 3 goals behind where they've got to go for it in their game. When are they playing tonight as well, by the way?
I don't know if it's tonight or tomorrow.
Well, that's an advantage.
I think it's tonight.
Is it tonight?
Yeah.
It's tonight, yeah. So they've got the same problem as us. They've got to try and rotate and try and keep fresh for the weekend. So that's not all doom and gloom anyway. So no, I'm with you. We've got to win the next game and the next game. Just keep winning the next game. Boring. Just take each game as it comes. Win the next game. Win the next game. And we've got the squad to do it. We really have. That's not going to be easy against City because they're a very, very good side. But I think we've got the players to hurt them. I think we've got the players to negate them. And I think we're the better team, aren't we? Because we're top of the league. We're the better team. We've always been chasing them before. When we've got the final with them before, semi-finals, they've always been the better team and we've been the underdog. But I think now we're on the verge of being a tight favourite for this. So, yeah, it's exciting times. But just don't look too far in front. Don't look too far in front. Manage the squad, please, Mikel. Players, don't get no silly red cards and yellow cards and no silly injuries, chasing lost causes. Just manage the games well, play well, take each game as it comes. Boring, cliched, but it's a fact. And I think that's what we have been doing. We've been taking every game as it comes and we've been slowly chalking them off. We're getting to the stage now where the games are starting to count down. It's getting exciting now, chaps. And I think the players should be getting excited. They should be really confident. There's no reason for this team not to be confident going into these next 2 games. Unbeaten in Europe, lost 3 games all season in all comps. What is there not to be confident about? We've got to start showing a bit of chest here and start thinking to ourselves, we are a good side.
Look, I'll be real. I think what we're doing, and I'll come to you with this, Ken, I understand where people are in terms of we've got to rotate. Oh, I don't want to be in too many competitions. Might have to chuck one sacrifice. But I think we might be doing this a bit early. Let me explain what I mean by that. The cup final is here, right? So that's Sunday. The Champions League, I'd like to think we can win tonight so we can then get into the next round. But I think if we do get through against Southampton and Leverkusen, it might be the next round where we have this conversation on here and go, bloody hell, we've just pulled out, let's say, Chelsea in the semi-final of the FA Cup. And then we got to talk about, what we do between Bodo Glimt and Chelsea, or if it is going to be Bodo Glimt or Sporting. And then we talk about, but then that weekend we've then got, I don't know, Fulham at the weekend as well. How are we going to juggle between these? So that's where I'm at. I'm thinking that we might be having this conversation maybe around. I could get egg on my face with this. I could get egg on my face, but that's kind of where I'm at, Kenny. I think that we will have this conversation again in a couple of weeks. If
the thing is, if we get through the semi-final of the FA Cup, that's just the Newcastle game has to get called off and rearranged.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
And if we get the final as well, Burnley has to be rearranged.
No, I don't want that.
Yeah. Yeah, so
I love Chris. I just want to win this league. I don't care about anything else. Win the league and the cup.
you got some really good points. And look, you guys know my thoughts. I'm a massive advocate for a Christmas break. I think that we need to have a level playing field with our European cousins when we talk about, like our chances of winning competitions like the Champions League. Now, don't get me wrong, the way we play is so intense, where there's an integrity in this league that you've got to admire. You have to admire Everton's integrity on Saturday and the integrity of all these teams. 100%. You respect their integrity. However, you've got to remember one thing, though, is that unless we have a midwinter break, we're going to be talking about all these games coming thick and fast. And that's the situation. We're thinking about it now, but we know that as soon as we come back from the international break, we've got a massive game against Southampton. And then you're right. You think about the month of April is going to be a mess, an absolute mess when we get to all these sort of competitions. Yeah. But one thing that's in our favour is Man City look dead on their feet as well. They look bereft of ideas. They can't break teams down anymore. They missed De Bruyne. They haven't got that kind of player that does all those things. Cherky's trying to be De Bruyne, but he's not doing it. Mamouche is relying on service. Reiner's too lightweight. They got the numbers, but they just haven't got the luck. And the biggest culprit for Man City's demise in terms of this title race, which could still go in their favour, is Erling Haaland. He hasn't turned up. That is the biggest conversation no one dares talk about. He's with a reason why Man City is struggling, because he's not scoring the goals. He's missing sitters or he's non-existent. So I suppose mentally, if they keep dropping points, maybe the mental pressure, relaxes, and maybe we could prioritise this tournament. But even so, physically, because teams are still going to give it their all, it's not possible. You're right. We have to sort of prioritise the league, whether we like it or not. But who knows? I'm telling you now, I'm putting my head on a table. The best Arsenal can hope for in the Champions League is semis. Best. Because I think that if we play a Barcelona, I think that's where our journey ends, because I do think that our European cousins are now fitter and more sharper than us, and they're keeping the ball a lot better.
Well, I've got a wild take for you then, Kenny. I think Newcastle might go through. And that is wild take, by the way.
There's nothing wild about that. There's nothing wild about that.
I don't know why. I don't know. I've got something in the water that tells me.
There's nothing wrong with that. But the thing with Newcastle, the problem they got is they can't finish games. They start at such a pace and then they fade. That's why they lost against Man City in the FA Cup. That's why they lost at Anfield. They went at a tremendous pace and ended up losing 4-1 in a game that they had no right to lose. They should have won it. But that's where I think with Newcastle, I do have concerns that they will give their all, but when the legs go, that's what I think Barca will clean up. I think Arsenal, it's physically mentally too demanding to win those 4 trophies. And the Champions League is going to be the hardest one of all because I think teams will play a lot differently against us than they played in the league stage. Anyone who plays like, Bilbao, Inter Milan and, Bruges against us, they're fools. We'll murder them. But no team's going to be that stupid to play like that against us.
I mean, look, we'll have to worry about who we get if we do get through that. But let me just touch before we come to sort of close on the cup final, Chris. How do you see this one going at Wembley, mate?
Who's the ref?
Great shout. Let me find out whilst you talk about it.
Let's get that fun and have a check. Who's ref for the Carabao Cup final?
Who is the ref at Wembley? I'm trying to find out.
Just do ref for the Carabao Cup final.
Peter Banks.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah,
I don't mind him.
Peter Banks, apparently. John Brooks is the assistant. Eddie Smart and Nick Greenhow is the 4th official. Darren England is the reserve.
So we haven't got the Australian bloke then. Thank God for that.
That's right. Well, answer your question. Answer your question, Dan. I'm quietly confident.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know if that's good or not.
I think it could be 2-2, and I think it could go to penalties.
Okay,
that's
penalties. A lot of
people
and
I agree with Kenny said Kepa will be in goal.
Unfortunately, I agree.
Do you think Donnarumma will be in goal for the final? Or
no, it'll be James Trafford.
Nah, Trafford.
Yeah.
It'll be
He's
Trafford
better
and
than Donnarumma.
But I think Trafford will be in goal. Kepa will be in goal for us, which worries me. I know everyone else seems to love him and think he's quality, but I don't get it. I just think I get so nervous.
It's consistency, Dad, though, isn't it? You've got to be consistent with to selection. And Mikel,
but you've got to win, Kenny. You've got to win. Like, if we play him and he flips one through his hands like I've seen him do for 7 years running, I ain't going to be happy. Let me know. Trust me.
He's still better. Can I just say, he's still better than any Chelsea goalkeeper.
Yep.
Yeah, he is. He is. But that's not hard. I think I am, Chris.
Right, I bet Chelsea goalkeeper.
Kenny, you know what you said about the league integrity? There's one team it didn't show integrity when they played Man City at White Hart Lane 3 years ago.
Oh, yes, that lot. Yeah, that lot.
Let's not forget that. I never let them forget that, by the way.
Well, they all of a sudden they realised they're in a relegation fight and decided to fight like tigers at Anfield. Mind you, Slot's team selection and Liverpool's inability to finish their dinner in the last third contributed towards that. Really, the amount of times Salah and Ekitike were 1-on-1s and just made the wrong decision.
That was like a basketball game.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
It was like, you play, we play, you play. What were Liverpool doing? Haven't they watched Tottenham?
Well, it was a basketball game other than they kept missing the hoop because they were terrible.
Yeah.
And we can't let the episode finish without talking about Chelsea. They have been found out. And when you look at the list of players, there was at least 2 of them. If Wenger had bought, history would have definitely been different.
Oh, right. Hazard, and
there was another one we was in for. Samuel Eto'o.
Yeah.
What about one Matter?
That's another one.
And we were definitely in for them. I'm telling you now. And I've always wondered why. Well, we know now why they didn't sign, because they had massive money paid into offshore accounts.
Yeah.
So when they sing, "We've won it all," yeah, you cheated it all, mate.
Well, that's the problem.
When they did this inquiry, I just read a little bit about it, that they said that it didn't affect results.
What?
It didn't affect the results or the integrity of the league. I'm sure I read that somewhere in the report.
Don't you think that it's a litmus test for the Man City thing? Because the Premier League are now saying, well, good boys for reporting yourselves. No. If the Premier League had the power that it says it has, then I don't advocate for punishments. I always think, I think it is what it is. you can still beat cheats in the field, because when you're on the field, the best team will win. All right, they might have had advantages, they might have more money, but I believe in sort of like, if you've got a problem with someone, it's just like school playground in Tolleton Park, Finchley Park or Crouch End. Someone wants it, you go on the playground, go on the field, have it. No kind of an action replays, no extra time. You have it. If you're the one who loses, just take your spoils and fight for another day. That's how I feel about football. The problem with the Premier League is what it showed me is that it's got all these rules and regulations. And what I've been saying in the previous show is that, are they legally binding? Because I've got a massive fear that the litmus test, in lieu of what's going to happen to Man City, is that Man City are going to tie the Premier League up in so much litigation that they're going to get the biggest fight ever. It could be hundreds of millions of pounds, and that'll be it. Because I don't see.
I think that ship sailed when they tried to say that they couldn't. The rules were wrong. They had a hit where they tried to say.
Are they legally binding though, Russ? Because I've got fears. Because what I just saw now, I put on my Instagram story. One of the two reasons why the Premier League did what they did is Chelsea are a big, cash cow in terms of like the revenue they bring in because of their success in Europe and previous success in domestically. And are the rules legally binding? Because I've seen it so many times with Man City and Chelsea where they've just basically got away with a fine, which they're not going to pay in one go. Because I always look at the situation. There's always someone in football that are football people, but I think I've always been suspicious that the reason why non-football people are involved in our game is because they know that if it doesn't go their way, they'll go to the High Court and win.
Yeah,
I think this is right now with Man City.
Though, Ken, I think they tried to go down that avenue to try and get the whole thing squashed, and it didn't work. They all signed up to the rules at the beginning. When you become a member of the Premier League, the Premier League is the 20 clubs. So they all sign up. All those 20 clubs all sign up to those rules. And if 18 or 19 of the clubs are saying we want them punished because they've overstepped the mark, the main problem here, I think, is afterwards, is the litigation afterwards, because you're going to have claims for damages left, right, and centre. This is why it's taking so long. The verdict's already done. That's already done. They've done it because they've got to make 100% sure and get agreement from all the other Premier League clubs that they're not going to sue for damages, for loss of income.
I'll totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. It's just that the problem is that the problem with football, and I'll say it before, is that we think that only one team's at it and only one team's ever been done that. We support this great club, but let's not forget, our club's been dirty in the past. We were dirty under the...
And Kenny, if it was to come out that we've been naughty boys, had our fingers in the till, or been trading offshore, paying agents and stuff like that, I would want us punished because we've broken the rules.
Yeah, but the thing is, in the 80s, we were doing it in the 80s. We were naughty boys in terms of trying to get our players to miss out a taxman. We were doing that with David Lee, a lot of players, and Spurs actually copied that.
Can I ask you a question? How many football clubs in the English pyramid have ever said, we'll replay a game because we think we did wrong in the game, like we did against Sheffield United? That
was. I have to admit,
new one. I remember. I
have to admit, I was happy. I was like gobsmacked when we done it because I was thinking, hang on here, I've already paid for my ticket. Do I get the other one free? And I put a bet on for us to win. Does the bet still stand? I was like pretty confused.
But when all the haters are all giving us grief, let's just bring that one up. Let's just bring
that was extraordinary.
We had no obligation to replay that game. This had gone. The results stood. And
what if we lost that game, Rusto? What if we lost that game?
What if we'd have lost that game?
Yeah, we did it. It was 2-1. It was
2-1 at the time, weren't it?
And the replay was 2-1 as well. But it was so bizarre. It was so bizarre that
superstar. But
Yeah.
could you imagine Alex Ferguson saying, "Oh no, that was wrong. I'm going to replay that game"?
Oh, that fat man.
Not a chance.
That guy was the worst one of all. He talks a good game, but it's all right for his Man United side. He made them up as he went on.
I'll tell you now, there's not one other football club in this country would have replayed that game.
No, not at all. I think a lot of it's to do with the sort of Arsene Wenger had a lot to do with it. I think he probably pushed for that, innit? Or public opinion, but
With David Dean.
Yeah. Oh God. Did you see Mr. Dean's interview with High Performance? I can't call him anything other than Mr. Dean because of what he did for this football club and the way he was booted out. That was poor.
When you think he used to go on holiday where Patrick Vieira was going on holidays to make sure he wasn't getting tapped up. That's how much he loves his club.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, Mr. Dean. You still see him about. He's got. I'll tell you one thing. You think I've got a strong handshake? He's got a strong handshake for a little man. I thought my arm was coming off when all I said with Mr. Dean was, "Mr. Dean, we miss you so much. This place is fast." And he shook me hand and he shook me, and I thought, "Hang on, I'm a big guy," and I'm like shaking. I think it's the passion he has for our great club. It's a sign of situations. He's been part of this. He did a lot for us in terms of Premier League, in terms of pushing the Arsenal name forward. The only thing that I didn't agree with him was wanting to move us to Wembley. I understand why from a financial point of view, but I thought that was a bad decision. That's one thing I didn't like Mr. Dean for doing.
Yeah, let's be real. This charges that's coming out with Chelsea and all that. I tell you, when Man City get pulled into the meeting, mate, it'll literally be like this. Honestly, it's they are honestly going to sit there thinking, what are we doing here? They must literally, every time someone gets pulled in and someone gets another fight, and they must feel like that. It's a joke, isn't it? It really is. I just hope they get the book thrown at them if they've done stuff wrong. But that's another story. That's another podcast. Let's come to a close with some predictions. Let's get both your predictions for tonight's game and the weekend, actually, because we're not going to be here until next week. So, Chris, I'll start with you, mate. What are you saying for Bayer Leverkusen tonight prediction and the Cup final prediction? I know you don't like it.
2-0 tonight. 2-0.
Yeah.
And 2-2 on Sunday, because I think they go to penalties and we'll come through.
Okay. I love that. Russ?
2-0, 1-0 to the Arsenal Sunday.
Love that as well. Kenny?
1-0 tonight, late goal, again, putting us through it again. And the final is going to penalties. And anything that can happen. I'm sitting right on that fence.
Yeah.
Two very, very good teams with differing strengths. Potentially attacking-wise, they're levels above us. Midfielders 50-50. Defensively, we're their masters. So may the best team win. And I want revenge for 8 years ago, for the humiliating experiences. I was so humiliated coming out of Wembley.
I was as well. It's the only game I've left early at, if I'm honest. It was about 83 minutes, and I went, do you know what? I'm done. And I hate I've never walked out early, but me and my dad were done that day. That was Mustafi's header back to Aguero, wasn't it?
I still have cold sweats about Mustafi falling on the floor. He was
horrific. Horrific, mate.
Ospina getting lobbed by Aguero.
Do you know, here's the reason, that I will never, ever watch YouTube reels of players. Because I watched him and I thought, we've got Cannavaro here. He looks unbelievable. He was the worst defender I think I've ever seen at Arsenal, honestly. We've had some shocking.
Did you watch Herman Munster play live? You know Herman Munster, don't you?
I've seen Schillaci, Stepanov.
No, you didn't answer your question, Dad. Dad, you and Albert were talking about Herman Munster for 2 years, and I want to know if you were watching him live, or did you just look at his stats? And
who was that? Mertesacker?
Mertesacker?
No, Goikarez. I call him Herman Munster because he played. I call him Herman Munster sometimes.
Oh, I thought I was talking about defenders.
Oh no, yeah. I wanted to do well. We ain't personal, but I just sometimes I look at him and I think, Jesus Christ, he looks like a creation of of some mad scientist. The way it's just this head, his body, and sometimes the way he plays as well. Every time they play Salt and Pepper, I just think about the Munster tune when he plays sometimes, because when he's bad, he's very, very bad. But when he's good,
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. He don't look great at times, but I'm going to go 1-0 tonight, and I'm with Kenny. I think it's 1-1, and it goes to penalties, and it's a flip of a coin at the weekend. It's going to be horrible. I really do think it's going to be horrible. So let's try and enjoy tonight first, and see what happens at the weekend. But listen, people, it's been a great show. We've discussed a hell of a lot, and it's always good chatting to you three. And big up to everyone that's in the chat. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, please. 2 buttons that are absolutely free. Please do that now. Please make sure you're using the code 12man for OK Jersey. The link is in the description, or if you just go into the live chat, it's pinned message at the top. So all you got to do is click the button, and you can get your England jersey with anyone on the back, or you can get your Arsenal jersey with anyone on the back, or any nation or club that you support as well. So go and show them some love. Big up to Chris. Make sure you're following Chris Hudson on all social media. Guna Russ likewise on all social media, and Kenny Ken on all social media as well. Boys, it's been a pleasure. Kenny, any last words before we go?
All I can say to yourself now, real football fans who got games who are going to the match, get there 4 hours before, sample the atmosphere. It's a bloody cup final. It's not about the match. The match will be a disappointment. You know, only one team can win. Create memories by getting there and spending some time with your friends, getting absolutely pissed, eating all the foods out there. It's a shame that at Wembley, the Wok and Roll, which is a Chinese place, is closed down, and it is a place called the Wok and Roll. And I'm just saying, early, spend time with your friends and enjoy the atmosphere. Get your phone out, film yourself being there, have the memories, because you won't get them again. It's very rare under this manager that we got the cup finals. Remember the last cup final, we weren't allowed in. So enjoy your day, make a day of it.
There you go.
I
Let's
just
do
like
it,
to say,
people.
it's always a pleasure being on with you three gentlemen. Arsenal royalty to me. All three.
Big up, Russ. You're a legend, mate. You're a legend yourself, bro. And Chris, likewise, where it all began.
It's great to do more with Chris as well. And Russ, I see all the time. But Chris, I don't get to see much of you. So the last time I saw Chris was in, I think it was in Finsbury Park in Straggling Road. I think we were outside of Grocers. I think Chris was getting his first. I was getting my sort of like West Indian curry, because I was going to make myself jello rice when I got home that day. But yeah,
we had a lovely breakfast, didn't we, Chris, one day? But before the game, we went in the Arsenal cafe. We went in the Arsenal cafe.
Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow or Sunday, Chris.
All right, mate. I'll send you a DM on Twitter.
You do that, yeah, because we'll be at the talks. Make sure you come over, mate.
All right. Yeah.
See you soon.
Yeah.
Big up to everyone that's here. We'll see you next time. We're out of here, people. Laters.
Take care, everyone.